introduce you. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Wellness Revolution. Of course, I'm Doc G. I have Robert Wiedemann, Dr. Robert Wiedemann, with us tonight, and also Marvin Robb. Welcome, gentlemen. How you doing tonight?
Good evening. Best day ever. How about you?
I'm doing great, thank you. I'm glad to be here and learn. And that's why I suggest my listening audience just listen and learn to these two men. They know what they're talking about.
Well, tonight we're going to be talking about the immune system and what we can do to really increase your body's ability to resist disease is really what it boils down to. And of course, as a chiropractor, I'm always encouraging people to keep their spine in line, because freedom from interference allows your body to communicate with all the cells in your body and actually increase your immune system, and prevent illness. As I said many times before, I've raised 3 boys under chiropractic care, and chiropractic was our wellness approach throughout their childhood. We never had over-the-counter medications in our cabinet, except for Band-Aids. But they didn't have shots. We didn't have them have vaccinations. And they were the healthiest kids in school. So, and I remember when I first went to chiropractic college being very afraid to say anything about drugs. Maybe sometimes they're necessary. Well, you know what? I don't know of a nutritional deficiency of medication of anybody. I don't know of any nutritional deficiency of drugs, because drugs are man-made. So what are your thoughts, Marvin?
Well, I'm actually, we were not born with prescription medication, were we? And so I like to keep it simple, give the body, and Dr. Wiedemann, you always told me, he says, Marvin, give the body what it needs, it will cure itself. And if you think about it, there's not a single cure that I know of that a pharmaceutical is responsible for. Now, vaccines is different. That's different than your pharmaceuticals. But my point is this: is that if you look at biochemistry, if you look at plants, study plants are actually create nutrients and medicines for our health and well-being. And so, talking about our immune system, we were talking about the musculoskeletal system the past few weeks. And those of you who are listening out there, and kind of picture your skeletal system, a skeleton, right? Inside every bone is bone marrow. Inside that bone marrow is very, very, very important part of our immune system. That's where the red blood cells are made. That's where the white blood cells are made. And Dr. Wiedemann, give us a little bit more knowledge about what the functions of white blood cells and red blood cells are.
Well, the purpose of a white blood cell is to surround and destroy particles that shouldn't be there. And, there is something called the reticuloendothelial system, which is throughout the body. It's from the blood vessels, not the bone marrow. Bone marrow has one part of the immune system, and the blood vessels has the other part. But all of these white blood cells function in coordination to get rid of any foreign bodies that's in your body. So not certain what you're looking for, Marvin. In terms of more insight into it.
Well,
have you ever heard of phagocytosis?
So let me just kind of expand a little bit on that, Dr. Wiedemann, is that white blood cell is, let's just keep it simple. They're the good guys, right? They look for the bad guys. Now, what are the bad guys in our body? We have viruses, bacteria, fungus, parasites, and including rogue cells. What is a rogue cell? A rogue cell is a cell that has been corrupted by a virus, bacteria, parasite, or something bad, and that rogue cell has lost its apoptosis. Apoptosis is a Latin word that means programmed death. So when you are, and you can Google this, you can go, and there's all kinds of science behind uh, understanding what apoptosis is. Apoptosis is, as a matter of fact, there's a lot of natural medicines out there that help, and tonics and herbal tinctures and supplements out there that these companies claim that helps support and promote the reintroduction of apoptosis in the cells. Now, what we want to do tonight is kind of take you down this simple path, and we want to keep it simple. When I say simple, is that this information should be so simple that a fifth grader could pick it up and share it with grandma and grandpa, and vice versa. So when we look at the immune system, if a bone marrow and musculoskeletal system is healthy, we can expect the body to have a good immune system. If we have a compromised skeletal system, we're also going to have a compromised immune system. And so what happens is this: when we have a compromised immune system, all kinds of nutritional deficiencies will start to surface. For example, the body's going to be invaded by a bunch of bad guys. Let's just say bad guys. When we talk about viruses, bacteria, fungus, and parasites, and germs, and all that stuff, we've got a compromised digestive system as a result, because the digestive system cannot, support and promote healthy digestion. But let's just focus on the immune system. So when the immune system is healthy, we don't have to really worry about the bad guys taking over, do we, Dr. Wiedemann?
No. Well, one of the things I wanted to point out, what I was trying to think of this word is phagocytosis. Phagocytosis is where your body cells will actually surround and destroy the enemy. Okay, whether it's a bad cell or even a fragment of a cell. There can be fragments, you can have dirty blood that has particles in it that shouldn't be there. And these phagocytes means cells that surround and destroy will actually surround them, encompass them, and break them down and carry them out of the body. And even a red blood cell has a limited capacity to do that. So, but in order to do that, you have to have healthy cells in your body. Your body has to have healthy cells. Okay, and so whether it comes from the blood vessel walls or from the bone marrow, they are formed by the body for that purpose. And if we give the body what it needs, the body has the resources to do it. By genetic, it fulfills its genetic map. There's a genetic map in the DNA that tells the body how to create itself and what it has to do in order to maintain proper health. And of course, the other part of that is the nervous system. A healthy functioning nervous system requires freedom from interference. And I know for myself, the discovery of chiropractic made a huge difference. I used to get the flu once a year, every year, when I was growing up. As soon as I got into chiropractic care, that all changed. I no longer got the yearly flu after that. And I would far rather be adjusted than to have somebody stick some needle in my arm to try to promote that idea. So we also have something else. The immune system, you may have heard the term autoimmune disorders. Dr. Whedon brought up the fact that, the white blood cells, they look for the bad guys. Now, what is an autoimmune disorder? An autoimmune disorder simply is in the circulatory system. You're going to have, if you have undigested food particles, guess what happens? Those white blood cells will actually start to attack. They'll start to say, oh, wait a minute, we're not supposed to have undigested sweet corn in the bloodstream. See, the body, the white blood cells, when everything's digested properly, the
the amino acids from sweet corn, or amino acids in watermelon, amino acids from a prime rib steak, they don't know the difference. But when you have a leaky gut, you allow these undigested food particles to get into the circulatory system, all of a sudden you have a conflict between white blood cells and undigested food particles. And the doctors want to call it autoimmune disorders. Well, that's a whole nother rabbit trail we can go down. We're not going down that rabbit trail this time, but just keep that in the back of your mind. Autoimmune disorders tells us we have a severely compromised digestive system. But if we have an autoimmune disorder, I can promise you, you also have got your white blood cells are doing the wrong thing. They're basically, we need to get those white blood cells doing what they're supposed to be doing, getting rid of the bad guys, okay? So what we do here. So how do we know we have a compromised immune system? Well, Dr. Wiedemann mentioned it. If you get sick a lot, you have a respiratory infection, upper sinus infection, that's a sign of your body just succumbing to some viruses or whatever. And typically around school, starting the middle of August, right now, we're beginning of school, and all the kids coming together. And guess what? One kid comes to school, and he's sniffling and sneezing. Before you know it, everybody in school has got, something that's causing, sinus infections and respiratory problems and all that stuff. Before you know it, kids are skipping school a couple of days, and that goes on throughout the entire winter. And then, we end school, and all of a sudden summer comes around. Everybody seems to be happy because we're not around people who are severely compromised immune system. So if you're going to a public area and you're around people who have a compromised immune system, you're going to be exposed to all these different types of health issues, viruses and bacteria that they breathe and sneeze and whatever. And I want to kind of share something with you is that when I was in the Navy, I went through the nuclear, chemical, and biological warfare school. And I worked with bioweapons. These are viruses that have been actually genetically modified to be more resilient, more contagious. And just wearing a face mask was not good enough. Matter of fact, the eyes is a very gateway to viruses. So during COVID, when they told you to wear a face mask, I was thinking to myself, well, that's baloney, because when I was working with viruses, we were wearing complete mop gear. I mean, masks and 3-layer suits and everything like that. And so we were protected very well from these bioagents that called bioweapons. But that's a side to that. Now let's talk about compromised immune system.
Well, Marvin, I want to mention something. I had a professor in chiropractic college, Dr. Chris Kent, who brought some very important things to my attention in terms of the immune system. He says, these masks that they wear to try to prevent disease in the hospital, he says, you ever hold one up to a light and see how big those holes are? He says, you think a virus or a germ can't get through those? He says, it's ridiculous. And that was a whole revelation for me right there.
Something else, I'm glad you brought that up. If you take a coffee mug, a ceramic coffee mug, and this is what they taught us in biological warfare school. You take a ceramic coffee mug, and if you were to be able to pour virus in that coffee mug, they'd fall out the bottom.
Wow.
Because the pores of that coffee mug is pores out to where those viruses are going to come out right up the bottom. You would have to see a magnifying glass, but that's how tiny these viruses are. Now, viruses do not live very long in the sunlight or in the environment. They need to have a host, and the host could have been an animal, it could be a human, but guess what? The eyes, the nose, and the mouth is going to be these orifices where viruses can come in. Now, if you get contaminated with a virus, we're relying on the immune system to take care of those bad guys. And for the most part, children, they're young, and when the cold or flu comes around, they usually kind of sniff a little bit. But when grandma and grandpa get it, they suffer from the cold. And sometimes the stress brings on things like shingles. And if you ever seen somebody with shingles, it's nothing more than a advanced stage of compromised immune system. That's all it is. Everybody has a single. Go ahead.
I have to tell the story about one time. When I was a student in chiropractic college, I had some very good doctors there. I had one doctor that I got the flu, and she adjusted my atlas and adjusted my ninth dorsal and my hip. And she says, "Now go home and drink cranberry juice." I had what the day before, about the day before, there was a blizzard at our house in Muscatine, and I got out from the car. I couldn't even get in the driveway, so I had to park across the street, and the wind blew the door into my neck, and hit me real hard on the neck, and well, it was on this side actually, or no, it was on this side. Caught me in the door, slammed my head, and I got sicker than I'd ever been. So I went up to the clinic, and this lady, a doctor, adjusted me. Man, it was quite an adjustment. And sent me home, said, "Drink cranberry juice and you'll get well." And sure enough, I did. Well, another time, I was at the student clinic and I was not feeling too well. And this, I wanted to get adjusted, and this had another student doctor that wouldn't look at my x-rays. I had upper cervical x-rays, wouldn't look at them. He had some philosophical idea that you shouldn't use x-rays. I don't know what it was. But anyway, he put me on my other side and toggled my axis, and I got a case of shingles out of it. And I went down to Dr. Blackwood in Muscatine, and he x-rayed me and adjusted me. And man, I'll tell you what, it knocked those shingles out of there. One adjustment. So, I mean, the thing that is that can you be maladjusted? Yes, if you have a stupid doctor that's doing stuff that isn't, protocol. Yeah, you can get it. You can be maladjusted. You better go to another chiropractor and get it straightened out, because, just like it could, you can. And I hate to say this, but if they can put you in, they can put you out. So to his, I don't know if this kid learned anything as he progressed on through school, but I'll tell you what, I just had a feeling he didn't know what he was doing at that time. And if you have that feeling inside, if you're inside of a chiropractic office, you feel like the doctor doesn't know what he's doing, you better walk out. So,
Dr. Wiedemann, I grew up with chiropractors, and I can honestly say over my lifetime, I had walked in the chiropractor office, and I had a couple of bad experiences. But with knowing that there are good chiropractors out there, I sought out a chiropractor that knew what he was doing, and he understood what my problems were. And so, good point there. Getting back to the immune system. So what we want to do here is that there's a longevity product that I'm really, really excited about. And it's called, and I'll just bring the bottle up here. And it's called the Nature's Pearl. It's a liquid grapeseed extract from muscadine grapes. Now, muscadine grape, if you don't know anything about muscadine grape, it's a certain latitude that it grows. And it's only a few places on the earth that it grows. One of them is in the Carolinas. And the muscadine grape has 2 extra chromosomes. It does not succumb to any diseases. The plant does not come to any diseases. And what we discovered over the years is that you take this grape seed and the skin from that muscadine grape, and they grind it up and make a slurry mix out of it. And that there is a natural immune support booster. It really works very well. Now, this product here, I take this just as immune support booster. I take a tablespoon of this every single day. Now, this is a quart, 32 ounces. One bottle will last me 2 months. It's not cheap, it's expensive. But what I have found out is that it has more than one benefit. Not only can you take it orally, but you can also use it topically. Now, I'm going to show you a little bit what I do here. Is that if you have any blemishes on your face or back or whatever, including skin tags, if you look really close here, I don't know if you can see this or not, but real close here, you might be able to see little brown spots on my neck. Those are skin tags that have basically dried up from applying. I just take a little Q-tip, and what I do is a little Q-tip, and I have a little vial of this stuff. I just separate it out, a little vial of stuff. I keep this in my bathroom. And if I'm at home around the office, whatever, I will put this on my neck and or my face. Now I have not. I applied. This is a brown spot here, and this is another brown spot. I've only applied this product here, the Nature's Pearl Liquid Grapeseed Extract, on my face only a few times. But I'm going to go ahead and show you just how simple this is. I'm going to take a Q-tip and touch that brown spot right there. Okay, it's all we need to do. And I know it's kind of hard to see. Okay, there we go. As you can see, it doesn't take much. Now, that spot right there, I have had about, probably half a dozen applications. Now, when I first started applying it, it was not a raised bump, but now it's a raised bump. And that tells me that little brown spot there should not be there. Okay. What this product here, if you apply this product to a blemish on your skin, now I'm not here to diagnose or treat or make any cure claims. But what I found out is with this product here is that if you have any blemishes on your skin that have appeared over time, it doesn't matter what age you are. Now, I'm not talking about freckles. Freckles are a totally different thing, or birthmarks. I'm talking about, blackheads, mole, kind of mole things, looking things. If you put that on there and it starts to raise out of the skin, then you know it's not supposed to be there. And so what I want to do, my wife, Julie, she actually had, when we first heard about this product, well, let's try it, instead of going to the doctor and get a biopsy on it to see if it's a carcinoma or whatever it is. And because that's kind of what most people do. They run to the doctor. Oh, I got something here and it doesn't look good, so let's take a biopsy. Do not do a biopsy or something like that on your skin. All it does, if you do that, it's like poking a feather pillow. The feathers spread everywhere. And then if it's carcinoma, it's gonna start to multiply. You want to keep it from isolate. If you have a mutated cells, that's rogue cells sitting right there. If you penetrate that basically the little sac around that mold or whatever you want to call it, if you penetrate that, it has a high risk of that stuff start spreading, kind of like cutting into a feather pillow. Now, what I want to show you here is this. I'm going to go ahead and pull up another screen here, and we're going to go ahead and let's see here. I'm going to share my screen. Okay, entire screen. Here we go. Bingo. And I want to do this. Here we go. Okay. Here is, right here, as you can see, this is the right side of Julie's cheek. See that crustacean right there? It started to appear, this is about 5-6 years ago when this happened. And it just all of a sudden started coming out. Now, my wife, Julie, and I, we take the basic 90 nutrients. We take additional products to support and promote the immune system. But this right here was kind of alarming to us. Now, and so what we did is we applied. Now, this is a little bit more aggressive. We applied the Nature's Pearl Liquid Grapeseed Extract on there. And it wasn't long, but now this doesn't happen overnight. It takes, we were doing it not regularly every day. We were probably doing it 2 or 3 times a week at the most, because sometimes we'd travel and leave the house and we would not do this. So we just put it on in the morning if we're staying home and whatever, then, wash it off and take a shower. And now you can see here is it wasn't long before we start seeing this crustacean raise up out of the skin. Mm-hmm. You can see there. Now, how big is that? If you look real closely here, I took a picture and put a nickel next to it. And that's actually a pretty good sized crustacean right there, right? It's pretty ugly looking, and because she was trying to hide that with makeup and all that stuff. And of course, we kept applying that Nature's Pearl Liquid Grapeseed Extract on that crustacean, or whatever you want to call it. And it took us probably less than 6 months before that whole mass right there completely came out and fell off. Now there's a small hole there, nice gaping hole there. But what happened is that it wasn't long before it completely healed up. Now you can see this here's the skin right here is a little bit lighter than the rest of her face. She has a lot of freckles. She is a fair skinned Scottish gal. So freckles is normal. As you can see here, the only scar tissue, you don't see any scar tissue that you would have had. If you would have cut on that, you would see scar tissue. But this here is very little difference in color and skin. I mean, that was our first experience with this stuff. We've had since then had tremendous success with it on the back, the face, as I'm going to go ahead and come back to the screen here. Skin tags. I have skin tags on I've been doing my right side. Most of the skin tags on my right side are dried up. On my left side, I still have some there. I need to work on those. But that's the success we've had with the Nature's Pearl liquid grapeseed extract. Now, question I want to ask you, if you're listening out there, if it does that much work on mutated cells or rogue cells, what do you think this product does on stuff you can't see inside your body?
And yeah, there's a lot of people that go to the doctor and have a colonoscopy and may find those, they'll find polyps inside and they'll think they're cancer. Didn't mean to use the C word, but that's what they, and basically that's what they're looking for is a reason to do surgery on you. And it's no different than on your outside. I saw a guy the other day had a piece of, he looked like he'd been hit in the head. And I said, did you get in a fight with your wife? And he just laughed and he says, no, I went to the doctor. And he says he took some skin off of me, because of skin cancer and stuff. And and I don't want to use the C word, but if something like this could alleviate something like that, you don't want to use a C word. But I'll tell you what, if the body's immune system can work with that and eliminate it, you're really, all you're doing is giving something to the body to fight with. You're not curing anything. The body's curing itself, but it's providing something that the body needs.
There's a lot of research out there that edifies the Nature's Pearl grapeseed. That's the muscadine grape, and we can spend the rest of the evening on this show here talking about that, which we're not going to go into that. But what I want to do is help you understand is that that's just one of many things we have to support and promote the immune system.
Yeah, one thing nice about that is you won't use too much of it because it doesn't taste good.
I'm glad you brought this up, Dr. Wiedemann. So this here does not taste good at all. I can promise you that. It's going to make your skin crawl. But I tell you what, if you understand the value of this stuff and you're desperate, and if you got a compromised immune system, I encourage you to add this to your basic 90 nutrients. Now, one thing what we do here is that I like to combine this product here with my strawberry kiwi flavored minerals. Combine these two together, and it really hides that taste. Now, of course, I'm adding this stuff to my basic 90 nutrients. Now, when I have somebody that has severely compromised immune system, we recommend 2 tablespoons a day. If you're just doing it for a maintenance program, 1 tablespoon a day. And we do this in our whole household, even the kids. I have a 19-year-old, and I have a 16-year-old, and they get a little bit of that stuff every day. Now, they're healthy, they're happy, but this is one way of how we support and promote a healthy immune system. And throughout the school year, they might get a little sniffles now and then, but they're not out of school like some kids are. Some kids are out of school 3 or 4 days, maybe a week or 2. But my point is this, is that I have not found anything out there that is so effective to support the immune system as the Nature's Pearl liquid grapeseed extract when combined with the basic 90 nutrients.
Yeah, and I might say that in times where you're frustrated and don't realize, you're trying all these things with longevity to get well, and maybe you're not able to, remember to go get adjusted. How many times have I reminded you, Marvin, go see your NUCA doctor?
All the time.
Yeah, and it's not natural to think in terms of getting adjusted to get well. Because if you weren't raised that way, I wasn't raised that way. I had to learn it in chiropractic college, but learn it I did. And when I or my kids got sick, getting adjusted is the best thing. Along with your immune support with the longevity products and so forth. They work together. They're synergistic. And let's talk about our trip out to when we went out east lecturing, Marvin, together, how both of us got terribly sick on the way out. And on the way out, and this was in 2017. So this was way.
No, this would have been in January and February of no. It was 2020.
Oh, wasn't it?
It was January and February 2020. Remember?
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, but
Uh,
we got pretty sick on the way out, and by the time we got to your sister's house, she took one look of us, sent us both to our rooms, and said, "Here's the cupboard. If you don't get well, it's your own fault." And she had a chock full of longevity products that were specifically designed for the immune system. Because I had my 90 essentials with me, and so did you, Marvin. But she had some specific products there, and she keeps her cupboard full of those. And she has a longevity home. She has her house stocked with shampoo and things like that from longevity. But she thoroughly has that. She says, I tell everybody that if you don't get well, it's your own fault. And she had a jar there full of in the refrigerator of detox. It had cucumbers, and it was really a nice drink, and made us drink a bunch of that. Remember?
That's called kombucha.
Kombucha. What's that? Kombucha. Yeah.
Yeah, it's something fermented. I tell you what, it really helped, along with a bunch of other stuff. And we had some. And she's really into the essential oils. She's more knowledgeable than I am on the essential oils. And boy, she gave us a regimen of essential oils that really gave us the immune system a tremendous boost. So not just the Nature's Pearl liquid grapeseed extract supports and promotes the immune system, but there's essential oils out there that we have. It's an excellent way of giving your immune system a boost.
Yeah, and we weren't near a Nuka doctor out there, so we couldn't have gotten adjusted. So,
but getting back to the immune system, there's just a lot of things that when you go to a medical doctor, they don't understand how to fight a virus. Antibiotics do not destroy a virus; they only destroy bacteria. So when you want to fight a virus, the only natural antidote to that is a vaccine. So viruses are naturally the immune system naturally sees the viruses as a bad guy. So we want to get rid of the bad guys, and that gives the body the ability to make and support and promote a healthy immune system. Now, I always just tell people this. Look, bottom line is this. Let's keep it simple. If you have more bad guys than good guys in your body, who's going to win? The bad guys. The bad guys are always going to win if they have a number superiority over the good guys. And so we want to make sure that our immune system, our white blood cells are tip-top shape. They have been trained to fight. They've been trained to recognize how to destroy the enemy. I mean, think about this. You're not going to send a soldier to the front line before you go to boot camp, are you? You're going to send the soldier to basic training, specialized training, and you're going to prep that soldier, give that soldier everything he needs to fight the battle that he's prepared to fight in the front lines. And so my point is this: the body is no different. You've got to give the body all the weapons it needs to defend itself against these bad guys. And the basic 90 nutrients, those minerals, and we just introduced you to the Nature's Pearl liquid grapeseed extract. Now, they do make a capsule version of it. It's not quite as potent as the liquid portion of it. The capsule version is okay for oral immune system booster, but you cannot do topical application with it.
Now, there's some other products within longevity that are very helpful, and one of them is Killer Biotic. Another is Immune 911. And another is, let's see here. What else did she? Those were two that she had. Opti-C is one of she gave us. And then there is some things from Restart Your Life. Do you remember what those products are?
I do not. No, I don't recall off the top of my hand. I was not prepared for that part of the lecture. We ran down a rabbit trail I was not prepared for, Dr. Wiedemann.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, but I remember those specifically.
Yeah. Now, with that said, I want to take you to the website where we have some video of Molly Smithson. Molly Smithson is a former oncology nurse, and she, Dr. Wiedemann, you met her before, haven't you?
Yes, I have. On our lecture tour, we went down to Kansas City together and lectured in some hall down there that she had rented or, had permission to speak in or something.
So here is Molly Smithson's. This is the interview that I did with her, and basically, she is a former oncology nurse, and she talks about her experience working with chemotherapy and radiation, and people who have cancer and things like that. And she just comes out and tells you, if anybody has cancer, they have a severely compromised immune system. And I want you to watch her videos. If you have any friends or family members that are suffering from a compromised immune system, the first thing I want you to do is watch every one of these videos that Molly has been so graciously interviewed us with. And she really has got it down. I mean, she knows her stuff. And she tells her personal testimony, how and why she chose to leave that profession and go all natural. She's had more success with using Dr. Wallach's products to support and promote the immune system than she ever did with working in the oncology field of oncology. And so, Dr. Wiedemann, you had a chance to meet this young lady. Was she just a dynamic young lady?
Oh yeah. Very amazing to watch these things. Did you want to show one of them?
Well, just because of time, let me do this. Let's go back to that. And if we want to show one of them, I think we should show probably, let's do this here. Let's see here.
We'd like to actually have her on the show if she's willing to do that.
Yeah. Let's go and play this one right here. That's 8 minutes long. Do we have time to do that? We should have time to do that. Let's play that one.
There's a lot of research out there regarding cancer.
Yeah.
A lot of research. And what's interesting is there's billions and billions of dollars been put into the research.
That's true.
And we haven't really found a cure, have we?
No.
Why is that?
Well, I think that there's a great deal of money to be made with cancer.
Mhm.
And so if you find a cure, then you're not going to keep making the money.
Okay. There's certain things we can say about cancer and certain things we can't say about cancer. Cancer and the cure is forbidden, isn't it?
Right.
We can't say that.
No.
But what's interesting is that if you understand biochemistry and the anatomy of the body,
Mhm.
we have a simple thing called the immune system.
Right.
And so most people who are diagnosed with cancer, it's a death blow to them. It's like an end-of-life crisis, basically. But if you understand how the body works, this immune system works,
Mhm.
to me, it would not be a big concern because late Dr. Gerhard Strauser, I personally know him, and I had a chance to have dinner with him, and he was one of the top 10 most quoted scientists in the world. He actually
Mhm.
worked with Dr. Wallach, and he personally told me, he said, Marvin says, everybody has cancer cells.
True.
Everybody. From the day you're born, your body has or produces 30 to 40 cancer cells a day. Now, what a cancer cell is nothing more than a mutated cell.
Right.
A cell that has the DNA and the RNA has been corrupted by a bad guy or virus or bacteria, something like that.
Right.
And so that cell no longer has the ability to communicate to the brain properly.
Mhm.
And so that cell is actually a rogue cell.
It is a road cell.
It's a rogue cell, and it's going to do what it wants to do.
Mhm.
It's not going to be in step in line with the marching troops that the brain asks it to do.
Right.
So we have a rogue cells or mutated cells. If you understand that, our immune system is the white blood cells. they will recognize every rogue cell. They will recognize every mutated cell that our body produces, and they are designed to go out and eradicate those from the body.
True.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
Now, to me, it would only make sense. Why not give the good guys our immune system, the white blood cells, which actually produce another cell called the T cell? Why not give those guys what they need to go fight the battle?
Oh, it makes total sense. Yeah.
And that is where I think you and I and Dr. Wallach have connected. Matter of fact, I remember when we first came on board with Longevity, you were just fascinated with Dr. Wallach's nutritional protocol because it supports and promotes the immune system.
Correct.
And you understand that supporting and promoting the immune system is the natural way of fighting the bad guys, those mutated cells.
Right.
And that's really how simple it is.
It is. Cancer is an issue with the immune system. You know, it's an immune system challenge. I view cancer by definition as an immune system failure, really, total body immune system failure. You know, and people will say to me, oh, you know, they have lung cancer, brain cancer, you know, all of this kind of thing, kidney cancer. I see it as a whole body immune system failure, not just that single part that's been identified to have cancer,
Right.
the cancerous tumor.
Right.
Because eventually the blood supply from that tumor will go around the whole body. When you choose to build the immune system of the body, you know, that's your best defense against cancer.
And what's interesting is that there's no negative side effects by supporting and promoting the immune system with nutrition.
Exactly.
Unlike it was with chemo, and like you experienced the chemo medication, there's the toxins. I mean, if you think about it, any kind of pharmaceutical, any kind of drug that puts in your body is a toxin.
That's true.
And how does the body detox the toxins out of our body? What does it use? The first defense mechanism the body has when there's a toxin comes into it, exposed to toxins, the first thing goes into detox mode. And it uses its nutritional reserves push out those toxins. And so the more toxins you put in your body, you're accelerating your nutritional reserves exponentially. Right.
Yeah,
if you think about it.
You are. You need, before you go through a detox program, you need a little bit of extra nutrition on board. And therein is another issue because most of us aren't in that position, but we have that extra nutritional reserve before we go into detoxing our bodies.
So going back to your view of cancer is that it's a total immune system failure.
That's my view.
That's your view. And I know you have talked to and worked with a lot of people that have had no hope, or they that was end of the line for them. But basically what you've been able to do is with simple understanding about how to support and promote the immune system from your perspective is that cancer is nothing more than a total failure of the immune system. We go coming behind and we support and promote that immune system and we see results we cannot get with conventional medicine.
Exactly true. Yeah. So we really want to give the 90 nutrients to body weight and then give them some other supplements to really help them build their immune system strong and fight it and clean up the diet. That's important. And, avoiding sugar and going gluten-free is important. And avoiding processed meats, oils, fried foods, those kinds of things. So that whole package, soda pop, get that out of the diet. Give them those 90 nutrients and then give them, extra products to help the body to heal itself.
So what you're doing is you're giving the basic 90 nutrients and you're giving additional products to support, promote the immune system.
Exactly.
And basically what you're doing is you're helping the good guys and not the bad guys.
Exactly.
That's really how simple it is. So if you have more good guys than bad guys, who's going to win?
Yeah, it's going to be the good, yeah.
That's really how simple it is, isn't it?
This is a really basic thing. And I think people at this point are looking around. I think, cancer is truly one of the most feared words in the English language at this point. And if our cancer treatments, our modern day conventional treatments were so successful, our chemotherapy, our radiation, our surgery, then why is the word cancer still such a feared word?
That's an excellent point. That's
Yeah.
an excellent point. It is, like I said, it's a death sentence. It's mostly a death sentence. When somebody's been diagnosed with cancer, I mean, we were just the news recently, Rush Limbaugh, stage 4 lung cancer.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where he's at, and I don't know his understanding of what he's going to do. But for me, if I was diagnosed with cancer, it wouldn't be everything I know. It wouldn't be like, I wouldn't have that kind of fear, because I would know, just like you
What
said,
to do.
my immune system is not capable of fighting off the bad guys. I need to support my immune system. That's how I would understand it.
Right. This is all the truth, and this is an important message, Marvin, that's got to get out to the public.
Mm-hmm.
Because, and I think they're at the point many people are waking up, they're realizing, they're connecting the dots, and they're saying, hey, wait a minute. First they took my money, and now it seems like they're going to take my life. We had to do something different.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That was really good.
Isn't that powerful?
Yeah. Yep. I'm not sure. Somewhere in that mix is the ones that we did at that one place. I don't know which one it was, but I remember watching you film it, and I'd have to go through them again and see which one it was. But yeah, I was there at the one when it was at it's like a gas station or something, wasn't it?
What this interview was totally separate from what you saw. What you saw was an interview of testimonials, Dr. Wiedemann.
Oh, I see.
That has not actually been edited and posted on the website. Now, with that said, one of the things, if you're listening here right now on the show, I encourage you to go back and watch some of her personal testimonies that explain how she used to work with cancer patients and the negative side effects of being exposed to chemo and how the irises of her eyes turned bright orange. And that's what got her attention, that something is not right. The medical doctors could not figure out why the iris of her eyes are bright orange. And she finally found a naturopath doctor that told her that, well, she have enough poison in your body to kill 2 people.
Yeah.
And so what was happening is that even though she's wearing gloves, handling that chemo, it would run down the gloves and then soak on her gown. And that chemo on her gown would touch her skin. And that's how she got contaminated with chemo. And her testimony is just unbelievable. Now, you saw her face. She had blonde hair and beautiful blue eyes. Well, that was not the case at one time. And so if those of you who are curious, go back and watch those videos. And she will tell you how important it is to give the body what it needs to heal itself.
Actually, what chemo really is it's the mustard gas from World War I.
Yep.
And it's basically, the idea is that if you blast the body with same philosophy as radiation. You got some sick cells, you got healthy cells. Let's blast the whole body, and hopefully the sick cells will die and the healthy ones will recover.
And so one of the things Dr. Wallach always taught is that if you have cancer, do not operate. Do not cut it out.
Do not even do a biopsy.
Do not even do a biopsy. So, ladies, if you do a self-examination on your breast and you feel a lump on your breast, the worst thing you can do is run to the doctor and, oh my God, I've got a lump on my breast. And they're going to poke a needle in there and do a biopsy. And that's like cutting into a feather pillow. And so I'm just telling you, you have a greater chance of survival by getting on the basic 90 nutrients and supporting and promoting the body with a good immune system support. And so I've seen a lot of young ladies in all ages with lumps on their breasts, and they decided to give the body what it needs. And the body is the one that did the healing, not the doctors. And so I'm just here to tell you, in that interview, understanding what I did, I am still of the same opinion. All the cases I've seen, people who have, we call it the death sentence, and if I ever were to get cancer, I would rather take the risk of adding double and triple my dosage of nutritional protocol and then go to any doctor to get chemo radiation. I'd rather die from overdosing in the nutrients, but which you can't do. So my point is this: if you have a good nutritional protocol, if you get too much of this stuff, only negative side effects is diarrhea. That's the only negative side effects of overdosing in minerals and vitamins, amino acids. Matter of fact, if you are a 200-pound person and you were to take 5 ounces of this stuff a day, I can promise you're going to get soft stools and it's going to come out like water because the body cannot tolerate it. It's just too rich for you. It's not going to hurt you. It's just say, oh, I had enough. And it's the same concept as working on a dairy farm. In the spring, you turn those cows loose out in the pasture. They eat that nice green grass. And guess what happens? They come into the barn and you get ready to milk those cows. And guess what? They lift up their tail and it just comes blasting out and it hits the back wall. That's because the first couple of weeks, that grass they're eating is so nutritionally dense with nutrients. They're not used to that. And it causes very loose stools. And that's what overdosing in supplements does. It actually causes loose stools. Now, if you have a constipation problem, guess what? You can just increase your minerals. It's a simple way of helping you get good bowel movements. You should have 3 to 4 bowel movements a day. 3 to 4.
My dad used to tell the story about this, some of these Germans from, that came from Schleswig-Holstein in Germany, they were very, very clean with their barns. My dad told the story. He met a farmer one time, and when the cows came in to get milk, he would do this, and they would all go to the bathroom before they came into the stalls in the barn to get milked. He had them trained to all go to the bathroom before they went into the barn.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
And if you look at veterinary medicine, you study veterinary medicine, animal husbandry. That's what Dr. Wallach has been doing for many years. He's just taught us how to apply these same principles to us, our families. Matter of fact, he came out with a bone and joint protocol called the pig arthritis pack.
Yeah, it's called the Pig Pack today.
Yeah, Pig Pack
Plus and Pig Pack. Yeah.
And that's the same nutritional protocol they use to eliminate arthritis in pigs. And so he just created one for humans. And so my point is this, is that we have so much information here. We can only get so much into an hour. We're getting close to our last 10 minutes here. But with that said, I cannot emphasize, we just touched the tip of the iceberg when it comes to the immune system. The immune system affects every single cell in your body. And if you have a compromised immune system, it is going to start to slowly erode away. It's just kind of like a steady corrosion, erosion and corrosion. For example, if you ever see a brand new freeway being built and, nice clean dirt on the side, and before grass and stuff starts to grow, a rainstorm, you see a little erosion coming along. Well, if you don't take care of that little gully, before you know it, it's a big old gouge in the side of the freeway there. That's the same thing happens to your immune system, your body. If your immune system is compromised, you're going to start to have multiple system failures.
Yeah, and another thing I want to emphasize here is that, another part of your immune system has to do with your digestion. If your digestion is not right, your immune system is not going to be right. And that's why one of the things we start with when we start with people is indigestion. We want to begin with your digestive system first so that you can absorb the nutrients and not be compromising your immune system.
One thing Molly mentioned in her video, she talked about getting rid of the bad stuff, and so there is a list of things that we recommend you stop eating and you change your diet. And one of those things, if you have a compromised immune system, one of those diets we recommend you go on, we insist you go on, is a gluten-free diet. Now, if you don't know what gluten-free diet means, gluten-free means no wheat, barley, rye, or oats. Those 4 grains have a protein that's very difficult to digest. And if they cannot digest that protein, it causes havoc in your digestive system. If you don't know if you want to know more about how to get on a gluten-free diet, just call Dr. Wiedemann. Get with him. He'll teach you how to do a gluten-free diet. If you want to learn more about gluten-free cooking and baking, you're welcome to call my wife, Julie. I'm going to put the phone number right here in the bottom here. And she is an excellent gluten-free cook. And she has been real gluten-free in this family. And she has, I mean, I'm not starving. But I can tell you right now, she does some really good gluten-free cooking. Dr. Wiedemann, can you vouch for me on that?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, love Julie's cooking. It's wonderful, and I'll tell you, you can't tell the difference. When you're eating at the Rop House, you eat good.
For some reason, it does not let me post the phone number there, so I'm just going to give it you verbally. Julie's phone number is area code 801-391-1955. And I'll repeat that again, 801-391-1955. For those of you who want to learn more about gluten-free cooking or baking, she's available. Now, with that said, just, if she doesn't answer the phone, just leave a message. She'll get back to you. So with that said, Dr. Wiedemann, you want to go ahead and just kind of summarize what we talked about today?
Yeah, basically we talked about phagocytosis, how the cells actually surround and destroy foreign bodies. We talked about digestion. We talked about Molly Smithson, where she basically has had a lot of experience in oncology and actually has found that the people respond better to what she's doing now than what she saw happen then. And I can believe that because, you can't destroy the body and expect it to respond well at the same time. So my final thoughts are, Marvin, that, first of all, we're not looking to cure anything. We're looking to, God has created this wonderful body to be able to cure itself. Okay. So anytime anybody tells you that they have a cure for you, just remember of all the people that say that they have a cure, that they cure, only 3 will tell the truth, and that's the butcher, the tanner, and the tobacco farmer.
Well, I tell you what, Dr. G, we're almost out of time here, aren't we? Anything else you want to talk about, Dr. Wiedemann, before we pass it on to next week? Next week, what are we going to talk about next week? Let's give the audience a little tip. Eddie, will talk about next week.
I had it on the tip of my tongue what we were going to talk about, but it's kind of left me right now.
Well, there's more things we can talk about in musculoskeletal, and I think we need to maybe address some more of that. We need to talk about that. But
I think maybe let's go into a little bit more between the interface between the immune system and digestion.
That's a good idea.
How it's related. So we're going to talk about the importance of the digestive system as it coordinates with the immune system.
And nobody better to help us understand that than Dr. Joanne Conaway. She is a naturopath physician, and she's a former flight surgeon and retired from the Air Force. So my point is that she really understands the digestive system. And so we're going to have some great material for you next week, and we hope to see you then.
Yeah, and thank you very much. I really appreciate this platform, being able to speak on here. Appreciate Doc G and his expertise in this, and so with that, Marvin, I don't know if you want to do a Wednesday night or not. We'll leave that in the air. Check back with us to see if we're on Wednesday night, because we might want to do our combination there of the immune system and the digestive system then.
We're going to have to, this is kind of on the air live decision-making process. So forgive us for sounding like we're a little bit confused here, but we've had some opportunities to do a Wednesday night show. And so we're kind of contemplating if we want to expand that from Monday and Wednesday nights, but we'll leave it at that at this time for right now. But Doc G, hey, thank you so much for the time. I know there's a lot of people out there listening to us tonight, and you may have a lot of questions, or you may know somebody who has a compromised immune system, by all means, feel free to call Dr. Wiedemann. There's a website down on the screen. Doc G, you want to go ahead and just repeat the website and the phone number to get a hold of Dr. Wiedemann?
Sure, Dr. Wiedemann, you can get a hold of him through healthreform90@gmail.com, or you can text him or call him at 406-270-3754. The website is www.getdocsminerals.com. Thank you guys for listening, and I hope you contact him soon. Your health is at stake.
Thank you.